Uh-oh, y'all. They're doing it again. Using our skin, our pain, our history to control us. And this time, it only took one sentence from Trump for the left to scream racism. But what if I told you this entire thing was a setup and you're falling for it?
President Trump just asked an African president where he learned to speak English and asked him where he went to school.
We want to work with the United States in peace and security within the region because we are committed to that. And we just want to thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you. It's such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where?
Yes, sir.
In Liberia.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's very interesting. It's beautiful English.
Sure.
I have people at this table can't speak nearly as well,
Very
and
good, sir.
they come from.
That was President Joseph Boakai of Liberia. English is the official language in Liberia. President
All
Trump.
right, let's talk about it. Yes, Trump should have known that English is Liberia's official language. Personally, I learned that today. But I would just consider that for him basic diplomacy. But you mean to tell me this is racism? Not a slip, not ignorance, but racism. And then, of course, here comes the emotional bait right here in your face.
Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where?
The racial
Liberia.
microaggression is
Yes,
oozing
that's
out of the
very
President of the
interesting.
United
It's
States.
beautiful English. Sure. I have people at this table can't speak nearly as well. And
English is the
they
national
come from-
language of Liberia. Did you do any homework on the African presidents coming to the White House? Oh my God, America, you should be embarrassed because this is like embarrassment galore. What in the caucasity is this racist mess? First off, any good host, which Trump most definitely is not, would have done their homework on their guests. This is President Joseph Boakai of Liberia, a country in West Africa. In Liberia, they speak English. It's their national language. Secondly, if you guys weren't spending so much negative energy erasing Black history, you would know the historical connection between the United States of America and Liberia. Like, I don't know, that in the mid-19th century, thousands of African Americans moved to Liberia to reconnect with their African roots. But no, because you spent all that energy on the wrong thing, you ended up producing an obtusely illiterate, racist white president. Clap for yourselves. Third, President Trump was being overtly racist to President Joseph Boakai. He had measured President Boakai's articulation and intelligence by his ability to speak English. People, that is freaking racism. He expressed astonishment that an African president could speak English so well, even asking where he went to school. Racial microaggression 101. This is no different from asking, but where are you really from? Oh, you speak well for a Black person. All of that in full display of the whole world. And don't be fooled by the laughter you heard from President Boakai. That laughter was a sign that this was a tense situation. And Black people use laughter a lot to diffuse situations, tense situations, especially in the workplace.
I wonder, what is my laughter for then?
Understand that all those African leaders seated at a table at the White House with the President of the United States, that was a workplace. This was a work thing. And if President Boakai had responded to Trump the way Trump deserved to be responded to, we know white people would have perceived him as aggressive and confrontational, and not the only person in the room who was being aggressive and confrontational, President Trump. Trump's racial microaggression was not a compliment. It wasn't funny. Sure as hell was not harmless. He questioned the articulation and intelligence of the president of Liberia in front of the whole world with depraved indifference as to how embarrassing that would be. Was he expecting President Boakai to actually answer the question? What the hell? There's nothing unconscious about racial microaggression. It's racism. And this level of ignorance from a U.S. president not knowing that English is spoken in Liberia should be criminal.
Okay. Now that you're done, I want to read this comment before I actually provide mine. Under here it says, we as Liberians talk down and laugh at our own for not speaking good English. But did y'all catch that? She turned a clumsy compliment into a slavery level sin. And you got people out here clapping for this. This is what the left does. They don't need Trump to be racist. They just need black people to believe he is. That belief keeps us mad, keeps us scared, and most importantly, keep us voting blue. Well.
Donald Trump is an idiot, and we are living through one of the most embarrassing times in American history for leadership. In a meeting with the president of Liberia, Joseph Boakai, President Trump asked him, "How did you learn English? Where were you educated?" As if Africans do not have education.
Well, thank you. And such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where?
Yes, sir.
In Liberia.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's very interesting. That's beautiful English.
Sure.
I have people at this table can't speak nearly as well.
Very
And
good,
they,
sir. Thank you.
Boy, if you don't get
English is the official language of Liberia. English is the official language of 67 countries. I'm not aware if Trump knows this, but people in Africa speak English because there's multiple countries in Africa and around the world that speak English. I'm sure he thought English was just an Australian, British, and American thing, but it's spoken in a lot of places due to colonialism. But he said, "Where did you learn it?" When he said, "I went to school in Liberia," Trump said, "Oh, interesting. You know what else is interesting? How you're a fucking idiot and you failed out of school while the president of Liberia has multiple degrees. So not only is he more educated than you in scary Africa, which a lot of people are more educated than you there, he speaks multiple languages because of what? Colonialism. He has to speak his tribal language and the national language of the country because colonialism." America. Here we are.
Whew, okay. That man didn't ask him to bark like no damn dog. He asked him what he learned English. Maybe tone deaf, maybe poorly worded, but this is the outrage you suddenly care about?
The official language of Liberia is English. The sitting president of the United States of America looked the Liberian president in the face and said, "Mr. President, how do you speak such beautiful English? Who taught you?" It's their official language. That's like an American looking a British person in the face and saying, "Mr. British person, how do you speak such beautiful English? They taught us English." I mean, 7 hells. We need a clown for this circus. Just when I thought the bar couldn't get any lower than hell, hell creates a void and goes lower. I mean, this is the type of hocus pocus tomfoolery we have to look at for the next 4 years and say, "Mr. President, this is a clown show." The most uninformed, most uneducated president in American history. And folks put this nonsense in the White House because they couldn't vote for a black woman. Oh la la, oh la la.
I got my 4 hours of sleep, but Lord, I need you. Okay, we get it. He should have done his homework. We get it. But watch what happens when emotion is challenged by facts.
Okay, and this is my last thing. This is for the black men. Come to the front. The black men who believed that Trump was going to be looking out for them because they were entrepreneurs. Baby, they filled up pools, swimming pools with cement so that black people could not enjoy them. So what do you think they gonna do when it comes to their damn country?
Oh my gosh.
Y'all want to be white so bad. Y'all want to be aligned with whiteness so bad. Y'all want to be aligned with power so bad. The way white men treat everybody else is the way black men treat black women. Y'all want power. Y'all just want to punch down. It's the fact that y'all thought that y'all were considered when all this was. They think if you steal 3/5 of a person.
Here it comes, y'all. Black men want to be white. Black men punched down. Black men betrayed us. Nah, black men just started asking questions. And that makes us a threat?
Donald Jamarcus Trump. You might be good at a few things, bro, but you are horrible at being racist. The Democrats is telling me you are the biggest and baddest racist they know, and I'm trying to figure this out, Trump. Because I seen all them black people you had that event with in the White House, and you mean to tell me you were shaking with them black hands? Trump, you was letting people eat food and drink in the White House? I hope you burned all of them plates and spoons and glasses, Trump. Because that right there is not racist enough. And then what were you doing, bro? Your first term, you gave all that money to them HBCUs, and they had to come to the White House every year and beg for money, but you stopped that and started giving them permanent funding. What were you thinking, Trump, trying to let black people get an education? Boy, and they telling me you racist. I don't believe it, Trump. And these opportunity zones that you was putting in these communities that help black businesses. And I personally know a few of them that got millions of dollars in their business because of opportunity zones that you created. And you trying to help these black businesses, Trump? Come on now.
Come on.
You real horrible at being racist, bro. You real horrible at being
Horrible
racist.
job, man.
I really don't know what you was thinking about this one back in your day. This was before I was it. You gave money to let a civil rights activist run for president? Jesse Jackson? But, you was that close to Muhammad Ali and Coretta Scott?
Can't believe it, man.
Oh my God, you let them put their black hands around you, Trump? Oh my God, bro. Trump, I need to go sit down and think about this, because
Yeah, man.
Democrats and liberals, they keep telling me you super racist, Trump, and you're a threat to me, and you're going to send me back to Africa. Trump, I ain't even from Africa. Trump, you got 24 hours to respond to this.
I mean, how was he racist when he funded HBCUs permanently? How's he racist when he poured millions into black-owned businesses? Help me understand, Chad. The left said nothing when Joe Biden called us super predators, but Trump asked a foreign leader about English, and now it's a global emergency. He's setting us back?
So I was scrolling on TikTok and I came across a post from a content creator who said that Trump is setting black people back. I mean, you can't be talking about the rise in crime in the black community because he really doesn't have anything to do with that. That would be your Democrat mayors. It can't be the lack of accountability within your communities because that would be your black leaders. So I'm really trying to understand what this content creator is trying to say. I'm sure that content creator is talking about the cuts that's going to happen due to the big, beautiful bill. You know, the part about able-bodied people going to work and actually making a living, working towards getting their benefits instead of just staying home collecting them. So that's what you're referring to? So Trump is setting black people back. How is he taking black people back? For taking them off the very programs that took the black father out the household. Make it make sense.
Great point. No, the left, if you ask me, they setting black people back by turning food stamps into a lifestyle, you know, by stripping fathers from homes, pushing ambition with guilt. Trump's policies changed that cycle. And that's why they hate this man. Not because he's racist, but because he's disruptive. And speaking of Trump and speech, what's up with the way that Trump says black according to her?
Have you noticed anything a little unusual about the way that Donald Trump says the word black?
No.
Like in this clip from February?
Would you rather have the black president or the white president who got 1.7 billion off the price?
If you ask me, how do I say? The Sonic's what it's saying.
Here he's talking about how people preferred him to Obama, allegedly. But I want to focus on the way that he pronounces the word black, because several people have asked me about this. Why does it sound so weird when he says the word black? 3 things going on here. First thing, it's just elongated. It sounds really emphatic. So he doesn't say like, oh, that's a black president. He says black, super long, kind of loud, right? It's really distinctive from the rest of the phrase in this clip.
The black president.
The other thing is the L in that is particularly light, so the tongue is far forward in the mouth, and the A is really high in the mouth. So I put this into our program prot and checked out the formants. And what you'll see for the first formant in L is that it's in its normal position, but the second formant in L is up around 1600, 1700, depending on where you measure in the segment. That is a light L. That is an L that is far forward in the mouth, which we wouldn't necessarily expect in that
Oh, and you're taking a big L right now.
context for somebody who speaks New York City English like Trump. The other thing is the F1, the first formant of A, is really high, right? It's around 1066. The second formant's around 1700. So he's doing this long, loud pronunciation of the word black with a very light L and a very high A for his dialect. And all of this gives us the perception that that word sounds particularly emphatic. What's interesting is he almost always says that word that way, and his followers have started to say that word that way too. So the pronunciation has become a sort of index, another kind of thing that points to the ideology that Trump has when he says the word black.
So now it's about how he pronounces black. That's the new standard. Man, this is excruciating. Meanwhile, your schools are broken, your rent is due, your cities are in chaos. And you mad at syllables. We made it through, y'all. This ain't about Trump. I always tell y'all what it is about. Control. Every 4 years, they press the same button. He's racist, he's dangerous. And now they're using this whole interaction with the Liberian president as that same moment. They don't want you informed. They want you triggered. I'm trying to tell y'all. Trump may not be polished all the time, but he ain't the enemy. All right? And if you still falling for this, maybe... Y'all be safe. Go check on somebody today. You could be saving their life. Peace.